What's good, YouTube? This video is going to be about when men don't pay for dates, or men who don't pay for dates. Jumping right into this, someone asked me this question and I think it's valuable, and a lot of women have this problem, as simple as it might seem. The question was, I've learned I need to ask about who will pay for dates. How do I say I'd like him to pay without sounding entitled? I don't want the guy to spend all his money on me or anything like that. But she probably want him to pay for the date, clearly. As customary, you would expect the gentleman who asked you out to pay for the date. My answer to her, and I told her I would make a video further explaining, was don't ask. Just go to the date with money to cover your portion. And if you end up spending any of it at all for anything more than the tip, no more dates. A lot of times a woman will try to have that conversation so that there's no confusion. Or at least that's what she tells herself. But in reality, she's just hoping that he's not the type of guy that doesn't pay for a date. She's trying to give him as much leeway as possible. She's dropping hints and clues about what to do right and how not to mess it up. I get it. But if you have to tell a man to pay for dates, especially when you're courting and you're just getting to know each other, or you haven't even done that, but you're trying to, or you're attempting to get to know each other, if you have to tell a guy that it's customary, that it might be appropriate in American society and much of Europe and much of the rest of the world that they pay for dates, then you're probably on a date with the wrong guy, to be honest. Like I said, always bring money on a date. Never come to a date empty-handed, because you never know what type of person you're encountering, and you never know what type of bait and switch they're going to give you. But if you end up spending $1 of that money on a date for anything other than tipping an exceptional waitress or waiter, no more dates with that guy. He showed you what he wants. He showed you what he's doing. Just leave him alone. Let me explain. In general, when men pay for dates, it's to signal that they are providers, right? It's to signal their instinct to protect, their instinct to provide, their instinct to bring stability to a relationship and to a woman. Men pay for dates out of an instinct to take care of the needs of those around them. That's what's on display when a man pays for dates. He's not just paying because he has balls. He's paying because it makes a statement. It's an illustration of his ability to provide and his willingness to. Keyword, willingness to. On the contrary, when a guy doesn't pay for the date, when a guy allows you to either pay for yourself or pay for him, a lot of times that's also a statement. That's also an intentional illustration of his unwillingness to provide for a woman he doesn't know or love, of his unwillingness to pay for anyone who he doesn't believe has done anything for him, of his unwillingness to be a trick or a simp or whatever type of man he thinks is weak enough to pay for a woman that he doesn't know and hasn't had sex with yet. Again, when men don't pay for dates, it's as much of a statement as when they do pay for dates. The customary statement being, I can provide, I'm stable, I offer stability, I can be counted upon, I'm responsible. That's what it means when a guy pays for dates. When he refuses to pay for a date, especially when he doesn't warn you first, you just find out you're going Dutch, or you're being asked to pay when you get there for him to, that's a statement that I'm the prize as the man, I'm more important. I'm not here to impress you. You need to impress me. And or I have probably misogynistic beliefs and opinions about a lot of things in regards to women and dating. It could be I'm red pill, I'm anti-simping. It could mean a whole lot of things that aren't necessarily good for healthy relationships, because men know the consequences of not paying for dates. They know immediately there's a conflict there. Some women might say something, some women might not, but there's always an internal conflict for a woman when a man doesn't pay for dates. Some men are triggering that conflict on purpose to put a woman in her place, or to let her know that she's not important enough to be paid for, that he won't be doing those types of things for her, that he's not spending $1 on a woman. Crunchy Black once said, I won't buy BITCH a hot dog, because that's how he feels about women. So back to the question. I've learned that I need to ask about who will pay for dates. How do I say I'd like him to pay without feeling entitled? If a man makes you think that you sound entitled for him to apply normal customary standards to your dating experience, the likelihood is that you're dealing with a misogynist and likely a narcissist. The likelihood is so much higher that you're dealing with a man who doesn't actually respect women or the value they bring to a man's life. The likelihood is that you're dealing with a man who has less family values than the type of man who would pay for a date and not think about it. The likelihood is that even if a man isn't a misogynist and doesn't lack family values, he's probably a little bit too poor to be trying to get women to go on dates. I'm all for dating men who aren't in abundance, but I'm not for dating men who are so impoverished that they can barely pay for themselves, let alone you. Not as adults. A lot of my clients are 30, 40, 50, 60. If you met a 30 or 40 or 50 or 60-year-old man that couldn't pay for a date, that tells you a lot about the decisions he's made leading up to that point in his life. Again, talking about stability, the signal of stability, the signal of responsibility, the signal of being counted upon, the signal of being financially productive. That's what a man's doing when he's paying for the dates. It's all a signal of his value. So when a man doesn't pay for dates because he's unwilling, it's a signal of his beliefs about what women are worth and where they stand in society. If a man is incapable of paying, it's a signal of his poor decision making, of his poor financial stewardship. Now, of course, everyone makes decisions and everyone at some point or another will struggle, and most will struggle financially. So it's not an indictment on that man's character or his potential, but it does tell you a lot about the decisions he's made thus far and how effective they've been for him, how much stability he's provided himself. So back to your question, how do I say I'd like him to pay without feeling entitled? Entitlement is the least of your worries here. If a man allows you to pay for that first date without making a fuss, you need to figure out if he was unwilling or unable. Either way, there should probably not be a second date. I'm all for women paying the tip if they want to contribute, if they want to feel independent, or if you just have an astounding waiter that you want to give extra to because they did such a great job. But if you got to come out of your pockets to pay for the date that you were invited on by a guy, you're dealing with a narcissist, a misogynist, or a man who can't afford to date and therefore won't offer you any kind of real stability. Now, if you're interested in struggle love, if you're interested in not having enough as a couple with your efforts combined, then continue moving forward, I suppose. But it's not about disrespecting a man or demeaning a man who doesn't have financial resources. It's just about understanding that there's some risk involved in having a relationship, i.e. pregnancy, right? Building a family. If a man can provide for himself, how can he provide for a child? Now you've endangered your future child by connecting yourself with a man who can barely pay for his own lunch, your dinner, and definitely not a child. So that first date isn't about what you like or what you prefer or what you hope he does. That first date is about watching that man's instincts in real time, learning about that man and forecasting the decisions he will make in time. You don't want to stop him from not paying. You don't want to sway him into paying if he needs to be swayed. You don't need to provoke him into being a man and instinctually providing you that support and stability in that moment by paying for the date. You need to see exactly what he is. And if a man's dumb enough to show you that he won't offer you even a dinner in your relationship on that first date, you just dodged a bullet. He was going to minimal effort you to death. He was going to see what he could get from you and make a game out of how much less he could give to you. So don't try to control that. Don't try to sway it or influence his decision to pay for a date or not pay. Just bring the money necessary to cover your cost. And if you end up spending it and he doesn't make a fuss, no more dates. He's told you all you need to know. Either he doesn't believe in doing anything for women, he doesn't want to simp, he's a misogynist, he's a narcissist, or he's too broke to date. Again, not an indictment on his character or his value as a person, but it does tell you a lot about the decisions he makes on a very regular basis and where you could likely end up as a couple in the future, practicing those same habits. Anyway, I hope this helps. Follow me at KFIG24 on Instagram. I'll get with y'all later. Listen, for those of you who've been waiting on the KFIG Financial Education channel, I'm in the process of getting licensed as a financial advisor. I know I said I wanted to start the channel kind of as a student, but then I decided, well, I'm the one passionate about finance. I'm the one passionate about these products. I'm the one that studies this crap for no reason at all and talk about it all the time with my brother and with my friends and my cousins at the gym. I might as well start helping people in this way because no one was there to help me. I'm currently, again, in the process of getting licensed as a financial advisor. I'm working on license 2 of 4. It won't be long, but when I start and actually sign my contract to become a financial advisor, I won't actually be able to make content on YouTube. I won't be able to promote it on YouTube, talk finance, even say the word money or financial product across any channel or social media I have. Because of that, if you want to work with me or if you're a person who wants to look into investing, retirement planning, estate planning, tax strategy, or anything in the realm of fortifying your financial future, right, through education and potentially making a move or taking some action, text me directly the word money at 614-254-6633. Okay? 614-254-6633. If you text me the word money, you'll be on my list, and I'll start giving out free sessions to people who are looking for a financial advisor, are looking to be educated on their specific circumstances, educating people on their options and how they can fortify their financial futures and the futures of their family. So again, text me the word money if you're interested, if you want to get on my list. If you wait till I'm licensed, it will be too late because I will not be able to mention my services or my company on YouTube at all. So as soon as I become an actual financial advisor, you won't hear from me in that capacity. So get on my list now and text me the word money. With that said, follow me at KVic24 on Instagram. I'll get with y'all later.